Hey guys, and welcome to Doing Things Dan's Way. So I was hit up recently by AoonuAuto. Now they offer parts for all different kinds of cars out there, but what we have today are these lights, as you can see here. So in the dark, when you're trying to reach for the door handle, you really can't find, if you're a guest, you can't really figure out where the door handle is on a car at night. And so this is just kind of a cool little extra lighting feature that goes along with the blue motif of the Highlander interior already. So I was like, hey, let's do this. So I sent them all the dimensions of the door handle, and they actually put together a really nice detailed drawing of it. We confirmed it, and they sent us this light here. So this is a insert that goes into the pocket behind the door handle, and then there's a wire, and that same wire I'm going to attach to the light that's down here. So the wiring is already in the door. There's nothing extra to do at this point. I'm just going to install it, wire it to the same light that's already here, and this should be a really simple install. So the link in the description below where you can go and pick up these lights, get to their website. But otherwise, let's see what it takes to get one of these installed. In general, what we're going to do is we're going to pull off the screw that's here and behind this piece and underneath this plate here. So we'll pull this off, open that door, pull this plate out, pull those 3 bolts, unsnap all the clips, and we'll lift the door off. We need to disconnect the handle mechanism that's there. And then we'll get this guy installed into that piece, run the wire, solder the wire or crimp the wire onto what's the wiring that's already in the car, and put it all back together again. And we should have a light that ultimately looks like this, which looks pretty slick in my opinion. Now, you might have noticed a couple things about this car that are kind of not standard. One, while this is the normal chrome look of the door, you can see on the other side here that I've wrapped it in carbon fiber. Same thing here. Everything in that was chrome on the dash area I have wrapped with carbon fiber. If you're interested in seeing how I did that and where to get the material, there's a link up here to that video. So let's get this door apart and this light in. Don't go away. This is Doing Things Dan's Way. Okay, so the basic tools for this job you're gonna need a typical screwdriver. You want to have some kind of panel removal tools. These are tools that are soft enough not to scratch the plastics of your car that you can use to pry on. So I have a set of these that I use. I'll put a link down below if you need that. You'll need a small little flat blade screwdriver to pop open this little door that's right here. Otherwise, let's get this door off. So the basic pattern is here. We need to open up this little door as well as remove this panel. Do that. Just going to pop this open and pull that screw out. And we're going to lift up on this. So find a place to get under there. Take your time on it. There we go. But you don't want to just yank. You want to just kind of slowly work your way apart so that you're not putting too much pressure on any one little clip or bracket. So now the back side, this is going to have a couple connectors. So these are going to find the spot. There's a little tab on these. So on this one, right where my middle finger is right there. Push on that tab. And this one down here, this one's a beast. Okay. So if you take your little screwdriver and you push on the latch mechanism up here, push in and then slide it down, that releases the harness there. There we go. So again, I was pushing on the little tab right there to push it inward to release it, and then pushing down to slide the whole thing out. Okay, so now those two are out. We're going to work on these 2 screws here. Okay, now we need to get behind this little plate that's here. So again, I'll use a little panel tool, come in behind it, between the brake, behind the lock and that plastic, and just kind of pop, it comes out really easily. Okay, there's that piece. Now this is what we'll be mounting. This is what we're going to mount this piece to. So we will need to drill a small hole right there, and that's going to feed its way inside the door. Okay, so now let's get that screw out. Okay, those are all the screws, 1, 2, 3. So now there's a whole series of clips all the way around the door that we need to break free. So let's go ahead and get our pry tool and just see down here if there's any spots that feel any more open already. Yeah, right there, there's in fact, there's a little arrow. There's a spot right there that we can get our fingers into. So I'm gonna put my fingers in there and just pry it a little bit. So up there. There we go, there's one. Just work your way along to where you find, you can feel a spot where one is. Okay, that broke several of them all the way up here. And the highest one's right about there. Now before we go any farther here, oops, I'm gonna pop this piece off. This you're just gonna grab and just carefully pull straight out. There we go. Now I need to wrap this in carbon fiber to match the other side, that vinyl carbon fiber wrap material. So I'll go ahead and do that as well. This piece I also need to wrap in that vinyl compared to the other side. There we go. It sounds terrible, but it's just the clips releasing, and they're designed to. So, okay. Now down here we do need to release the light. Before you pull too far, there is a connection down here to make. Now let's pop loose, but you can see there's a little tab on the end there. Put your fingernail on that, pull on it. You can remove a little door light here. Okay, now this is going to be the tricky part. Here we have this mechanism to deal with. So there's two ways this comes out. One, either the whole piece comes out with a clip on the top and the bottom, or we need to remove the little pins that are in there that are the end of the cables that are pulling on the latch and the lock mechanism. So let's see what happens when we lift it. Either this piece will come out nicely, or we'll have to pull the cables out. So I'm just going to lift up and get it free, and now it's attached by those cables. Okay, you can see here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pull out on the green part there and turn it, and that releases the green cable, and then pull straight out on this one. Carefully rock it forward. You want to be real gentle on these. There we go. Okay, and that's everything. Those are those two guys, and they're greasy, so realize that. Okay, we're gonna find the spot where this wire goes through on here and drill a hole. So I need to mark that spot. Okay, I'm just gonna drill a small hole on that spot. Okay, see where that's going to poke through. Just kind of pretty good. Now the other thing I'm going to do is this white wire is you're going to be able to see that white right there. So I'm going to split the wire into its two parts, and then so I can get between it, and then hit it with a Sharpie. I really just need that first little edge right there. I thought a black nail polish would actually work well. Or some other kind of black paint that can get down in there. Just to make that edge right there disappear. Okay, now we're just going to feed this through. Like that. And we'll just clean this good, and we will peel the tape and we'll stick it down. Okay, so now that the door is all opened up, we have access to the wiring that goes to the little courtesy light that was down here at the bottom of the door. I'm going to basically cut back a little bit of this sleeving or unwrap it and go ahead and crimp on the wire leads from our light here and run that wire basically up the door. So this light will end up being, here's the door latch mechanism, right? So it's going to end up being about there, but we need some room to be able to adjust. So I'm going to start with this kind of up here at a minimum, and then just kind of something like that. And just wind it in like so. I'm try using some of these little crimpers, because these let you slide the crimper over an existing wire and crimp a new wire to it. So in my Highlander, the light colored wire is the ground wire and the dark color is the power. And so I'm kind of just going to do white with light and dark with dark. So these have like a dead end on one of them versus the open side. The dead end facing the connector. And of course you could just solder this. That would be the other way or the easier way. And then all I'm going to do is just cover or close this to protect that metal. And now we need to do the other side. Okay. So now what I'm doing here, I'm never going to be able to open the door easily with this in here. So either I can put a connector in line, which would be pretty slick honestly. I'm just going to go ahead and cut this and use barrel connectors. So once I get the door, get these wires fed through all this mechanism and everything, I guess I could have done this before I wired it down there, but I'll just put it back together with barrel connectors. Look good there. You can feed the door back on. Just getting it close. And now we have to put on our little rods. These kind of go at right angles, and then they fold back towards the edge of the door. Okay. Not so bad. Okay. Now that I got the handle, the trick is to get this corner in first. I found works best. You can get that distance in, because this side has to go way down inside the door. There's the rubber gasket right there. So just kind of working back and forth until it's in place. We'll get our cables out. You look in the holes and make sure you can see the place where the bolts need to go. That'll tell you you're all the way down. Okay, now we can. Okay, then just feel that edge and make sure it is tight everywhere. Yep, they're all in. Got my carbon wrap on the door. I have the carbon piece to go here now. It'll snap in. Now, 3 screws. And the 2 big ones go here and the small ones up there. That. Close that door. Put this on. No, put this on. Got that wrapped in the fiber. Got that wrapped in the fiber. Tips here. There we go. Well, that pretty much wrapped up the installation of these backlights. I think they look pretty cool. They're pretty bright, but they're only on when the door's open, or the way I've wired it here. You could find one of the power connections that is on when the accessory power is on, and this would be on all the time. It's a little bright for me to have on all the time in my opinion, and so I like the idea that when the door is open, this thing really lights up the door, shows the door handle where the lock is, all that really clearly. So that's the look. Give it a thumbs up if you like it. Give it a thumbs down if you don't. Comment below if you don't. How about that? And let me know what you did differently in this installation. So there's other videos in this Highlander Life series that are going to be up here. Smash on my face right there if you want to subscribe and see the next video comes out on this Highlander and all the tweaks and mods I've done. And until then, guys, be blessed.